Drills Talk, episode 93. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 4 benefits of the law of creation. This is based on a blog I wrote in the past entitled The Law of Creation. The law of creation is a karmic law. The karmic law tells us that we must have an active hand in anything that we want in our life. The law tells us that we can't sit back and wait for things to happen, but it also tells us that we have more power than we think we have. A lot of the times we just need to hear that. We need to hear that we have a little bit more control than it may seem or the world is showing us we have. So let's sit back, relax, and discuss 4 reasons why we can use this to our benefit. Let's go.
It's another Drills production.
Created by the great wizard of the new world.
Drills Talk, episode 93. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 4 benefits of the law of creation. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, show your love however you would like to show your love. Here, we're an entrepreneurship-based channel. Every Monday, we have a new blog. Every Wednesday, a new Drills Talk. Every Friday, I release an instrumental just to get your weekend started and show you what I do when I'm not making YouTube videos. Thanks for watching. Let's get started. Number 1. Number 1 is it opens you up to criticism. Now, a lot of people hear that and they're like, well, what's the benefit of that? Like, I don't like to be criticized. But think back in your K through 12 days. How beneficial would school have been if you never was great? Never received a grade. You read out loud in class. Teacher said nothing. You took a test. You got the test back unmarked. What would that do for you? It would do absolutely nothing. And a lot of us, after that K through 12 experience, want to go through life without ever having to deal with that anxiety of receiving a test score or reading out loud or bringing a big project to present in front of the class. We hate that stuff, but that's what makes us better. That's what gets you to that next level. And opening yourself up to criticism means that you're putting out whatever it is you put out. So if you're a content creator, you're making videos and you're pushing things out there and you're getting people to know you and hopefully hearing some feedback, and that's going to make you better. If the feedback is, hey, the video is a little long, you can make the video shorter, or you can try to not be as long-winded, or you can try to hit more points. So yeah, I talk a lot. I want to have 10 things I'm going to touch on in this video as opposed to 4. So what I've learned in my experience, if you go back to Drills Talk 1, 2, 3, those early ones, they're probably about 30 minutes. Our videos now are about 8 to 12 max. And it's not that I talk less. I just talk about less. I touch on 4 things instead of maybe 7. Or, I will touch on things maybe 3, 4 minutes into it. And then I'll say, okay, that's enough. Not that that's all there is to be said about it. But I know that the attention span of most people, I'm only going to get about 8 to 12 minutes. And I appreciate it. The binge watchers who can watch an hour of it, I appreciate you even more. But the masses, I got to grasp them. I got to take them in, and I'm only going to get 8 to 10 minutes. So when you understand that, you make improvements, and then you have shorter shows and maybe better shows because you don't have time for the fluff. You don't have enough room to make this video 30 minutes. So you concise. Concise can be better, especially if you're pinpointing everything you want to talk about in that short amount of time. Number 2 is a better relationship with karma. So we think of karma and we're like, if you do something bad to somebody, it's going to come back to you. But that's not all karma is. Karma is like a yin and a yang flow. It's 100% of something. And when you have 100% of something, whatever you put into it is taken away from the possibility of whatever else you're going to put into it. So if you take that information that I just put out and you say, okay, well, 50% of the time I'm thinking negative. 50% of the time, I'm sitting on the couch watching TV and not working on what I should be working on, not creating what I should be creating, not being active in walking towards what I want in this world. So if you're going to do that 50% of the time, then what's left? 50%. So that's what karma tells you. It's more than a repercussion of what you're doing. It's more of this is what's going on in our 100%. And 50% is wasted already. So even if we bust our tails, the rest of the 50, we're probably not going to get exactly what we want because that's not enough. We understand that we have to work hard, but we also convince ourselves to put things off. We convince ourselves that we're doing good enough. We convince ourselves that, oh, well, people at my age is not doing as much as I'm doing. And I think we're looking at it wrong. We need to understand that there's always somebody who's going to do more. And there's always somebody that's going to be a little smarter, a little bit more innovative, maybe easier to listen to, maybe easier to look at. And we have to understand that we have to work just a little bit harder because of those people. We're looking at the wrong set. We're looking at the people who are not working as hard. We're looking at the people who are just getting it together at our age. And if we want to get great, we cannot look at those. We have to look at people maybe that's not even around. We can make up a person if we don't have those ultra, uber talented, uber successful people around us. We can make them up. A good example, Michael Jordan was the best when he was playing, right? If someone said something to him, his level of focus would go up. But he got so good that people wouldn't even talk to him. So he would make up stories. Oh, that guy said he didn't like me. Oh, that guy said that he killed me. Oh, that guy said that I'm no competition. He said that he's going to shut me down. These people never said that. But he used it to egg them on, to make more determination in that 100% that he had of his karma. And that made him play even better when he was always better than everybody else already. So what did that do? That made him untouchable. That made him a problem for anybody who was going to play against him. If somebody was standing in front of Michael Jordan in the 90s and their job was to guard them, they're already in their head, I lost. And that's an advantage to him. But he took that advantage and created more advantages in saying that, oh, well, this guy doesn't think that he's at a disadvantage. This guy thinks that he's going to destroy me, which made him work even harder. So imagine you, where you are now, taking a 5th grade test. You can probably sit down and pass it and get most of the questions right. But imagine taking that 5th grade test and studying before it. What's the chances of you not getting 100%? That's what you have to do. You have to go that extra mile. You have to make sure that 100% is as close to 100 as you can get, because the higher that is, the closer you are to getting exactly what you want. Number 3 is the excitement of waiting. So what's the excitement of waiting? You're waiting for that feedback. It's like when you take a test and you get the test back the next day. We call it anxiety because we are only thinking the negative of what's going to happen. Okay, well, I studied, but I didn't feel really good about it. No, the excitement is, in real life, a test is people giving feedback. How many people watched it? Did anybody take the time to like it? Did anybody like it so much to subscribe to your channel? Right? Did anybody like your artwork enough to follow you on Instagram? Maybe even buy a piece. That's what you should be excited about, because that's showing you you're doing the right thing. That's showing you that your work is not for naught. You're putting in the work and people are acknowledging it and people are consuming it. And that's all you can wait for. That's the excitement. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm not talking to no one. I'm not making art for no one. I'm not cooking this great food and no one will ever get to taste it. You have to put it out there. And when you put it out there, you give yourself the chance for feedback, and you give yourself the chance for excitement of waiting, because of course it's not instant. But if you use it as excitement, you're putting yourself in a position to not be anxious. You're putting yourself in a position to embrace feedback because you're waiting on it now. You're not trying to avoid it. And then you can use that feedback to get even better. Oh, that chicken was great. Oh, the mac and cheese was great. Maybe a little greasy. Oh, well, they think it's a little greasy. Well, what can I do to take the fat content down? And then you take the fat content down, and now you don't hear a lot of feedback. It's because it's right now. It's not that people don't care anymore, because you see the numbers, you see people are still buying it, you see still people are talking about it, but they're not talking about how greasy it is. It's not going through the bag or destroying a paper bag. It's right now, which means that you can take it to the next level and promote and get even bigger because of feedback. Number 4. Number 4 is full control. Full control. Meaning that you control everything that you can control. Of course, you don't have power over everything in this world. But what we need to do is absolutely take the reins and take the steering wheel of everything that we're in charge of. And the law of creation tells us that we should. The law of creation says that, okay, well, yeah, you don't control everything in this world. But if you can control everything that you can control, you will have full control of what your life is supposed to be, what your life desires are. And a lot of us, we don't believe that because we're saying, oh man, I got to wake up. I got to go to work. None of this is my choice. I got to pay these bills. And maybe I get an hour or two to myself every day. Well, yes, now you do. But if you continuously work, and I don't know if it's going to be months, years, a decade, but if you continue to work towards it, that hour will turn to 2. And before you know it, that 2 will be 24. And you'll wake up and you'll say, what am I going to do with my day? And it's because you earned it. It's because you were actively seeking something, walked towards it, and then you obtained it. And we try to keep things super simple. And of course, that's not super simple. It sounds in words super simple. But yeah, you have to actively take control of your life. And you'll be surprised at exactly what you can get, which is pretty much everything you would desire. Drills Talk, episode 93. These are the top 4 benefits of the law of creation. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's drills.com. Check this shit out. It's Drills.